Hi everyone. I hope I am live here. Let me just check once. Okay. Alright, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree, also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram, that is for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology and the Telegram channel of Unacademy, ICSE and IC both. So this link you can find in the description box. So go to the description box, find the link of Unacademy channel, and also you will find the link for community, works bounty and some special classes link you will find there. Okay, so click on the link and join those channels. All right, so that is basically you will be getting the updates regarding the classes there. All right, so now for special classes, so these are free classes conducted on the platform, so that is Unacademy platform. All you have to do is download the Unacademy Learners app, okay, and start taking up free sessions which are there, so you can learn from your favorite educators. Now different educators are coming up with different courses, so you will basically it is a theme based sessions will be conducted. So some of them are conducting a quiz, so some of them are conducting a revision sessions, a discussion sessions are going on. So you will have different themed sessions, so access to the different theme sessions. So you can basically download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking up the sessions there. You can also engage with educators via poll and clear your doubts in the live special class. So here we have an option to conduct a quiz there. All right, so you can practice certain topics or certain chapters through the polls there, so it will be more of an interactive session as well. All right, and also you can clear your doubt in the live special class. So there is a question tab where you can type in your question, attach an image and send it to the educator during the live session, and the educator will be getting a notification that the learner has asked a doubt and will be clearing your doubts in the live session itself. So that is during the live session itself. Okay, so now for the top special classes you can visit the link in the description. Just a second. Alright then, so let's see this. So now Unacademy subscription features. So you can basically, these sessions which are here, so these are free classes, and here only a certain percentage of topics will be covered, whereas in case of plus classes, so there is 100% syllabus coverage will be done. So for that you need to have a subscription, where the features are you can learn live from the comfort of your home. You will have access to all the courses, like different educators will come up with different courses, so you will have access to all the courses. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, so that is Unacademy platform. So all you need to do is download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking up the session by choosing the category ICSE and ISC both. All right, and there is a regular doubt clearing session, so that is after about every 3 session. The 4th session will be our doubt clearing session. So whatever doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in this doubt clearing session. Then mentorship and guidance will be given, study material will be given, so that will be in the form of PDF that we will be uploading. So you can go to the specific class and download your PDF from there itself. Okay, and also the practice tests are conducted, live test series are conducted, so you will have access to batches as well. So we have a batch in English, we have a batch in English. So you will have access to both the batches, that is English as well as the English batch, once you take the subscription. So depending on your comfort, so you can go for the respective batch there. And along with that, there is daily practice section, weekly mock test series are conducted, live quizzes are conducted, daily MCQ and subjective test series are also conducted there. So you will have access to all of this. And right now the mock test which is going on, so that is for a weekly one. So there is a scholar test which is going on, so you can take up the test, so to know, like, where exactly you stand. So that will give you an ideology that which part you need to you need more practice on. So you can know through these tests itself, so you don't miss out on any of the tests which are being conducted on the platform. All right. And right now there is an offer going on. Just a second. Yes. So right now there is an offer going on where you can get 20% discount on ICSE Board Plus subscription. So July 17 it started, and this offer is going to end on 22nd. So if you are planning to take the subscription, so you can make it before July 22nd itself. And the duration of this particular offer, so these are going to vary. So for 24 months, 18 months, 12 months and 9 months it is given. And this is the current price that we have, but with the offer, so the offer price is basically, it is reduced from the current price, where you will be getting 20% discount on the amount, and you will be saving up to this amount. So basically, instead of 19,838, you will be just paying 16,863, and this is the amount that you will be saving if you are going for 12 months of subscription. So if you just want to try like how exactly this works, so you can even go ahead with 9 months of subscription there as well. All right. So subscribe now, so you can use the code. So the code is VANIYT. So with this code you will be getting 20% discount on the subscription. All right. And let's get started. So this is about the absorption by root. Anyway, the session name I have given transpiration. Okay. So first we'll discuss about the absorption by root, and then I'll continue with the transpiration in the next session. But for now, I'll change the topic to the absorption by root itself. Okay. So I just thought I'll first complete the absorption by root, and then I'll go with the transpiration. And that's the reason. So basically I have added the absorption by root here. So let's just discuss. So this is the mind map. Okay. And this mind map, so basically I have taken from Oswald publication. Okay. So Oswald publication. So this is basically mind map of ICSE Class 10 book. Okay, so it is a mind map of ICSE board, so that is for class 10 learners itself. So this mind map I have taken from there, so you can have access to this one. So I think I have already taken a mind map session on different topics already. So today I'll be conducting this one on absorption by roots. All right, so let's see this. So what exactly are the different definitions which are given and the different terms. So there is a plant water relationship that we'll be discussing here. Okay, so it is plant water, how exactly do they interact and what is the mode of transportation, and there are associated terms that you need to remember. So we'll discuss all of that. Okay, so this is based on absorption by root. So let's get started. So the mind map, and here you can see what exactly is the need of water and minerals for plants. So what is the need of water and minerals for plants? So this is the box that we will study first, right? Yes. So this is the box we'll study first. And what exactly does this say? So we'll concentrate on this part first. All right. So what is this now? The mind map says about the need of water and need of minerals for the plant. So why exactly this is required? Yes. Anybody? So why does a plant require the water or the minerals for the plant? So basically some of the points which are mentioned here, so that is photosynthesis, the transpiration process, the transportation and mechanical stiffness. So what exactly is the raw material that is required for photosynthesis? Now when we mention about photosynthesis, there are different raw materials that are required. Okay, so now with respect to photosynthesis, the raw material required is water. Okay, so why exactly water? The water gets transported through what? So the water is being transported, that is through the xylem and the midrib and vein. So there is a extensive vein system, or we can just mention there is a vein system, and with this vein system there is a water supply that will be done, right? So once the water supply is done there, so you can see basically water is being supplied, so that is through the midrib, and there are sub veins and veins that are being formed, and once that is done, so you can see there is a transpiration process occurring, transportation and mechanical stiffness as well. Just a second. Alright, so with respect to that, the need of water. So now water is required. So whenever we talk of whatever absorption that occurs, the absorption of water, that is by the root. So in that water that is being absorbed, so which we say 100% if we mention, so about 98% of water is actually getting transpired. Okay, so that means for photosynthesis it is required for transpiration. So you can see about 98% is basically used for transpiration. The rest of 2% which is there, so that will be used for photosynthesis, and other than that, so other activities which is mentioned in the above. So you can just note down here the need of water and minerals. So photosynthesis, the water is required because this is the raw material. The transpiration, so what exactly is the use of this transpiration? Now there is a continuous water absorption and there is a continuous water loss that we can see. All right, so now why exactly water loss is occurring? So that is to cool down the surrounding temperature. So why exactly cooling down is required? Because the sensitive cells, okay, so sensitive cells of the plant, so they are affected, so that is by the harmful rays. Okay, so harmful sunlight so can damage or injure the sensitive cells of plant, and that's the reason the cooling effect is required, and that's the reason. So whenever transpiration is occurring, so that is absorption occurs, and 98% it is basically transpiration itself, and that is occurring mainly because the cooling effect is required there. All right, so that is because the sensitive cells are gonna affected, that is by the sunlight, and that's the reason the cooling is done. And other than that, there is a suction force that is created. So one we said cooling, the other one is basically a suction force is required. So there is a suction force that is created. So let's write here itself. So why exactly transpiration occurs? So this is with respect to transpiration. So transpiration, when we mention about 98% of water. So let me just write. Okay, so about 98% of water which is absorbed. Okay, so the water that is absorbed, so that will get transpired itself. Okay, so that is mainly to create a cooling effect. So why is there a requirement of cooling effect? So that is to protect the cells. So why this is protecting? So protect the plant cells, because the plant cells need to be protected. So why exactly these need to be protective? So the sensitive cells are that, so these are sensitive cells. All right, and these sensitive cells are damaged. So these are damaged by what? So these get damaged by the harsh sunlight, and that's the reason the cooling effect is always done. So that is done by the transpiration. So this is one of the reason. Okay, and other than that, there is a suction force that is required. Okay, so there is a suction force which is required, so which will create a suction in the upper parts of the plant body. Okay, and this suction force, when we mention, so there is a pull, there is a transpiration pull that is required, so that the water gets absorbed. So only if this suction force is there, so the water is gonna get absorbed. So these are the two main reasons why the transpiration is happening, and out of the water that is being absorbed, 98% is basically lost in the water vapor itself. So that is basically water will be lost in the form of a vapor. So for that reason, so basically photosynthesis 2%, transpiration 98%. So in the under that 2%, we have other activities also mentioned here. So that is for transportation, this can be used for mechanical stiffness, where the cells will remain turgid. So turgidity of cell is maintained, and that's the reason the water is required and the minerals are also required. Okay, so this is with respect to need of water and minerals. So transportation, so xylem and phloem. So xylem, through which water transportation, like water supply is done. Okay, and phloem, through which the food supply is done. But anyway, there is a requirement of through the water itself the food supply will be done. So like solid particle is not moving, so it is dissolved in the water, or along with the water the food particles are moving there. So for transportation, again there is a water requirement is there. Okay, so water is required for a lot of the different processes. So one is with respect to photosynthesis, transportation and mechanical stiffness, which is just 2% of the water that is absorbed, and about 98% of water that gets absorbed here. So all that is mainly the transpiration. So about 98% water loss which is occurring. So this is due to transpiration, which will provide a cooling effect, and it will create a suction force. Why exactly cooling effect is required? So that is to protect the plant cells, because these plant cells are sensitive, or we can mention the delicate cells of the plant. So they can get damaged or injured by the harsh sunlight, and in order to protect them, so basically the cooling effect is required, because the delicate cells, and since they are always, the plants are always under the sunlight. Okay, and the as the UV or as the sunlight falls on these cells, so since these cells are delicate, so they can get damaged, and that's the reason the cooling effect is required. Okay, and characteristics of root. So let's have a look at the next one. So that is characteristics of root. So what exactly is the characteristics of root? So let me just highlight this part as well. Okay, so this is with respect to characteristics. So this is already done. Like what exactly, why there is a requirement of vein system and other things. So I'll just erase this part. Okay, so then moving on to next one. So that is characteristics of root. So under characteristics of root, so these are the main points that you will be studying, and a lot of times, so the long answer type question, so this has been asked. So let me just highlight this part so that we can have an idea on this. So this is about the characteristics of root. So roots are having a thin wall. Okay, so this one we'll be studying. So let's see what all different features are there. So I hope you can see this one clearly now, since I have highlighted it. So otherwise I think this would be okay. So in that case, the root hair is having a thin wall. So what exactly is the use of root hair having a thin wall? Any idea? So the characteristics of root, that is for easy absorption. So this is with respect to absorption. High strike hack. Good evening. Alright, so let's have a look at this. So now you know the roots are having a thin wall, so that is a thin cell wall, so that easy movement of the water can occur. So if it is thicker, so minerals are not taken inside the cell wall easily, and also the water. So for free movement, so anyway we know that the cell wall, when we mention, it is freely permeable, but if it is thinner, so easy absorption can occur, so without any problem. And that's the reason, so since the main agenda of root is to absorb the water and minerals, okay, so but you know minerals are not moving inside the cell membrane. Yes, they'll still remain inside the cell wall. So for water absorption and mineral absorption, so the roots are there, and in that case it is not separate absorption. Along with the water, the dissolved minerals or the suspended minerals which are there in the water, so that are being taken. So let's say here this is the cell wall, okay, and this is the cell membrane. So you know that the cell wall is freely permeable, okay, but the cell membrane, when we mention, so this is semi permeable. So what exactly happens to the water that gets absorbed along with the minerals? And all the water will remain in here, that is inside the cell wall. So let me just highlight that so that you can understand. Just a second. Yeah, so now you know inside this cell wall you can see there is a water that will remain, okay, as it is being absorbed. All right, along with that, so certain minerals are also there. So let's see, here is this mineral, so you can see certain minerals that are suspended in the water again with this. All right, so now what exactly is semi permeable? The cell membrane, when we mentioned, it allows the water to move inside, so that is solvent to move inside freely, but it does not allow the mineral movement. So solute, whenever solute has to be taken inside a cell membrane, energy has to be spent. So now you know the water, only the water can move inside this, all right, but not the solute. The solute are basically here itself, so they get moved, so that is only across the cell wall. So in that case, let me just explain you this. I'll just write it here. Okay, so let's say this is a cell wall now. So this is one plant, I mean this is one cell, this is one cell, so there is a cell membrane, there is a cell membrane. So water gets moved in here, so there is basically, you can find a lot of water which is there inside the cell wall along with the minerals. Okay, so now how exactly transportation is done? The water and the solvent will move, solvent and the solute will move across the cell wall and also across the cell membrane. But for solute, so let's see here are the solutes. So these are basically the solutes, that is minerals. So minerals are transported only across the cell wall, so they do not enter the cell membrane there, because the cell membrane, when we mention, so this cell membrane is semi permeable, right, but the cell wall is freely permeable. So these two are freely permeable, and you can see the water will start to move from here to here, so that is from across the cell wall you can see the easy movement. But inside this one, that is inside the semi-permeable membrane, so it will be completely water can move in. So it is across the cell wall always. Now cell sap of root hair is of higher concentration. So why exactly cell sap is maintained as a high concentration? So why is there a requirement of a cell sap having a higher concentration? Any idea on this? Hi Sandhya, good evening. Yes, why is there a requirement that the cell sap should be of higher concentration? That is because, I'll just explain it to you here itself again. I'll just clear this up. Okay. So now, you know, as usual, so there is a cell wall. So then there is a cell membrane, and inside this there is a vacuole. So let's say this is a vacuole now. So here you can find a cytoplasm. So this is going to be a cell wall. This is going to be a cell membrane. Okay. So now in this case we can mention that the cell sap of root hair is of higher concentration. So you can find this cell sap having a higher concentration. So what is the meaning of higher concentration of cell sap? That means the water over here is less. Okay, so what exactly has happened? The water over here is less. Okay, and you can find the minerals are more here. Okay, so that is high concentration. So what is high concentrated solution? So high concentrated solution means very less water is there, minerals are more, so that is not a dilute solution. But when we mention a dilute solution, so let's say surrounding, it is a low concentrated solution. So low concentrated solution means what? So that means the water is more. Okay, so the water is more here, but the minerals are less, right? So minerals are less. So what is going to happen? The water is going to move from their region of higher concentration to their region of lower concentration across the semi-permeable membrane. So this is the semi-permeable membrane. So water will move from their region of higher concentration. What is their region? That is water concentration. Wherever water is high, so water is going to move. So it is a low concentrated solution, means it is basically a dilute solution where you can see more water and very less mineral as compared to the cell, because in cell there is lot amount of what is it called, minerals are maintained or the ions are maintained, and water is very less. So what is going to happen? The water will move from their region of higher concentration to their region of lower concentration, and that we call as the osmosis, because it is moving across the semi-permeable membrane. Alright, so that is another characteristic. And other than that, you can also find surface area of root is enormous, right? So what is surface area of surface area of root is enormous when we mention. So basically, let me just explain you this. Yeah, so here in this case, let's say this is a root now. Okay, so root is gonna spread. So let's say there is a tap root system or fibrous, anything it is. So there is one main root will be there. So again you can find many of the rootlet formation. Okay, so from each of these rootlet, so there is a root hair that is arising. So you can see they cover, the roots cover. Okay, so this is for roots. So roots cover large surface area, so that is being in the same place. Okay, so this is, they cover the large surface area where the root formation. So this is the main root. Okay, so this one is main root. Then you can find the rootlets there. So then rootlets are having many of the root hair. So there you can find the root hair like structure. So that means basically being in the same position, so they try to extend themselves so that they cover the larger surface area and they can absorb maximum water. Okay, so maximum water absorption and also the mineral absorption can be done there, that is depending on the plant requirement. So this is basically for the absorption there. All right, any doubt? Hi Krishna, hi Yogesh, good evening. Are you all understanding? Any doubt here? So these are basically the characteristics of root. Okay, so we discussed about the need of water and minerals. So this part is done. So characteristics of root, so that is root hair have the thin wall. So cell sap of root hair is of higher concentration. Then what exactly is the function of shoot system? So its main function is to absorb the water, okay, and also to mineral. So this is that is from, so this is not shoot, so this is supposed to be a root. Okay, so since we are discussing about root here, so function of root system is, the function is to absorb the water and minerals from the soil and conduct them in the shoot system. Basically, yes, the absorption of water occurs from the root and throughout this shoot system. So since we know that xylem is unidirectional, okay, so what is unidirectional here? So you can see that the water is moving against the gravity, that is from root to the shoot. So since it is moving in only in one direction, that is xylem is going to take the water in one direction, so we call that the xylem is unidirectional. So the main function is to absorb the water and the minerals that is from soil and conduct them in the shoot system. So function of root system is to absorb the mineral and the water there. Hello everyone, good evening. And other than that, so there are different terms which are associated. So let's have a look at these terms. So this is basically the absorption and conduction of water and minerals. So there is inhibition, diffusion, osmosis, active transport, turgidity and flaccidity. So these are the different terms. So all this part is done. So now this we can consider under plant water relation. Okay, so this is water, so this can be considered under plant water relation. So what exactly is that plant water relation? Like how exactly there is an interaction that is gonna occur. So like the plant will be interacting, okay, that is along with the different parts of the plant body or with the surroundings. So that is through different processes and hence we call this as a plant water relation. And absorption and conduction of water and mineral is mainly done here. So that is by inhibition process, by diffusion process, by osmosis process, and there is active transport, turgidity and flaccidity. So this is actually the chapter is absorption by root. Anyway, I have given the topic as transpiration. I'll just change it. So before I discuss the transpiration, so I thought I'll discuss about the absorption by root. Okay. And so I started discussing about the absorption. So in the next session, I'll discuss about the transpiration. So for now, anyway, I'll change the heading of this one. What I have given as transpiration. So basically, I'm discussing about the absorption here. All right. So there is a inhibition process and there is a diffusion process. Any idea what is inhibition? Yes, what exactly is, sorry, this is not inhibition, I'm really sorry. So this is supposed to be imbibition. So this is, okay, one second, I'll change the color, just a second. So this is imbibition. Okay, so some typing errors are there in Oswald publication. Okay, so this anyway I have taken from Oswald publication, where you can find mind map of different chapters which are there for ICSE Class 10. So this is taken from that. So the term is imbibition. Imbibition is nothing but the surface attraction. So let me just explain you here. So now when we mention about the imbibition, so imbibition processes any living cell. Okay, so it is a living cell or the dead cell. So these are the keywords that you need to include while you are writing the definition for imbibition. So it is not only for living cells, so it is it is associated with the dead cell also. So where they take in the water, so they absorb the water, that is due to surface attraction. Okay, so this living or dead and due to surface attraction are the keywords that you need to include in the definition while you are writing. So you know how important it is to include the keywords while you are writing a definition, while you are writing a particular explanation or the function, the location. So you always should include these keywords. And for imbibition definition, you always have to consider dead cells also. So we usually talk of living cells. Okay, but anyway, for imbibition process, it is a living or a dead cell which is absorbing the water. Okay, so one example we can say the door clamming. Okay, so in the winter or rainy season mainly, so you can see that the door is gonna slam. Okay, so why there is a door, it will swell. So that is due to surface attraction where the dead cells of the plant, door, okay, so these dead cells of the plant are going to absorb or take in the water. That is when the water comes in contact with the dead cell. So let's say this is the door now, okay. So this one is the door, and incoming, the water molecules are coming in contact with the door here. So there is a surface attraction, and because of this the water moves in. So these keywords that you need to include while you write the definition for imbibition. Okay. So same way there is another process, that is the diffusion process. So what exactly is diffusion? Any idea? Yes, what exactly is, just a second. Yeah, so what exactly is diffusion here? So now when we mention about diffusion, so diffusion is one such process where there is no involvement of semi-permeable membrane. So basically it is same as osmosis. In osmosis there is an involvement of semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so here also the solids, the liquids and the gases, so they are going to diffuse. That means they are going to move from their region of higher concentration to their region of lower concentration. So here we are not restricting it only for a solution, or there is no restriction that there has to be semi-permeable membrane or not. Okay, so that we consider in osmosis. Okay, so that is the movement you can see from higher concentration to lower concentration of that particular substance across the semi-permeable membrane. So that is for a osmosis, which is basically with respect to solution, and that is the water, that is mainly the solvent, not even solution. So it is basically for a water. All right, but in case of diffusion, so it is not restricted only for a water. So you can see the gases will diffuse, the solids can diffuse, the liquids can diffuse. So it is in general term where you can see the movement from their region of higher concentration to their region of lower concentration. And then there is a term called as active transport. Any idea what is active transport? Any of you? So what exactly is active transport there? Okay, so I'll explain it to you here. Wait just a second, here I'll explain. All right, so now active transport is one such process, all right, where the energy is spent. Okay, so this is for active transport. So let me just explain you this. So in case of active transport, where the energy is spent, that is the ATP molecule is spent in order to push this mineral from low concentration. What exactly happens? Diffusion, we just discussed that. Always you can see the movement easily without spending any energy from high concentration to low concentration. Okay, but here what is happening, you can see the minerals or the ions, or we can just mention these as solutes. So solutes are being pushed, that is from the lower concentrated. Okay, so from low concentrated solution to the high concentrated solution. So you can see the movement there. Okay, so from low concentrated solution to high concentrated solution, the solutes are being moved. Okay, and that is by spending ATP. So this is very important. Okay, so again this is the keyword where you need to include that the solutes are being pushed. So generally what will happen, always you can see the movement from high concentration to low concentration easily, but here what is happening, it is against the gradient. Okay, so in that case, from low concentration we are pushing the particular solute or the mineral to the high concentration, and for that energy, that is ATP, has to be spent, which is the energy currency. Adenosine triphosphate has to be used, so that you are pushing this forcefully from low concentrated solution to a high concentrated solution. So that means here the water concentration is more, the solute concentration is basically less, and here in this case what is happening, the solute concentration is more here, but the water concentration is less. So what we are trying to send, so it is the solute that is being spent from low solution, I mean low concentration, to high concentration, which is basically the reverse process according to the diffusion. And that's the reason, so active transport when we mention, so you know these are the processes that are occurring. And other than that, there is a turgidity and flaccidity. Okay, so what exactly is turgidity or a flaccidity? So turgidity is when the cell membrane, okay, so it is fully in a distended form, or the cell wall is fully in a distended form because of the inward movement of the water. The flaccid condition is when the water is going to move from hypertonic solution. Okay, so basically you know water has all moved out, so cell has lost its shape. So this condition we can mention here itself, I'll explain. So this is the cell wall, this is the cell membrane, so all the water content of this cell has gone out. Okay, so I'll explain it here better. Okay, so now you know, just a second. So this is the cell wall, okay, and this one is the cell membrane. So cell membrane has come to a particular position there. So you can see that the cell membrane has come to one particular corner of the cell wall there. So that means whatever water content was there, so all the water content has moved out. So where you can see the cell is in a flaccid condition, and this process is basically a plasmolysis process there. All right, and there are different terms. So there is a root pressure, so it is one of the force to raise water up through the stem into the leaves, that is due to alternate. So this is again a keyword. Yeah, so this is due to alternate turgidity and flaccidity. Okay, so this is due to what? This is the keyword again. Okay, while you are writing, so just make sure that while you write the definition for root pressure, so there is a alternate turgidity and flaccidity will be there, which will make this water to be supplied to the stem and into the leaf. So that is due to alternate turgidity and flaccidity. So this keyword has to be included while you are writing the definition for the root pressure there. Okay, and other than that, what exactly is guttation? So what is guttation? You can see there is a water loss, not in the form of a vapor but in the form of a droplet. Okay, and that we call, so that is mainly through the margins of the leaves, and that is basically a hydrothode. So there are structures called as hydrothode through which the water loss is done in the form of droplet, and that is the guttation there. All right, any doubt? So let's have a look at this. So types of solution we can find: isotonic solution, hypertonic solution, and there is a hypotonic solution. So what exactly is a hypotonic? So hypotonic, when we mention, so you know it is basically a low concentrated solution where you can find water to be more, solutes to be less. Okay, so this is solutes less, and in case of hypertonic solution, the water is less, okay, and solute is more. So the solute is more here. And in case of isotonic, so basically that is surrounding. So surrounding and in the cell, so you can find the same concentration. So depending on that, you can see the water movement always occurring from hypotonic solution to the hypertonic solution. So the water molecule, so this is with respect to water molecules. Okay, so the water molecules will move from hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution. Because what exactly is hypertonic? The water concentration is more here. The water will move from their region of higher concentration to water will move to their region of lower concentration. So in that case, it is always a movement of water molecule. You can see from higher concentration of water to lower concentration of water, which is basically a hypotonic solution, and here it is a hypertonic solution. Okay, so hypo is basically a dilute solution. So what exactly is dilute? Dilute means lot of water will be there, very less solutes you can find. Okay, and here this is a hyper, that is a concentrated solution. So in concentration what happens? So you can find more solutes and very less water in there. Okay, so root pressure, so forces that are contributing for ascent of sap. So root pressure is contributing, capillarity, transpiration and adhesion. So diffusion, osmosis and active transport differences is given, so you can make a note of this one. Alright, I'll just erase this part. And all the experiments, just a second. So all the experiments which are mentioned, so experiments are way too important, because you will get lots of questions, that is diagram based question, the long answer type questions on from this one as well. So don't skip that. Here anyway, in mind map of absorption by route, the diagram, the experiments are not mentioned, so that you need to concentrate on. So diagram based questions can come on the experiment, and also there is a long answer type question can also be asked, so you can concentrate on experiments as well. So this is about the the differences that you can find between the diffusion, osmosis and active transport. So I hope you can see this one. So I'll just highlight, maybe you can see this clearly, or maybe I can zoom this as well, so you can just have a look at these. So these are the difference that you can find, and anyway it is even mentioned in your Selena textbook as well, so you can refer the Selena textbook for the differences there. So this one is anyway taken from Oswald publication. Okay, so this I have taken from Oswald, but the Selena textbook I'm talking about. So Selena textbook has given all these important points, so you can refer the Selena textbook for all the experiments as well there. Okay, let me just check if this is visible for you guys. Okay, so diffusion, osmosis and active transport. Diffusion is transport of gases or dissolved substances that is in solution from a region of high concentration to region of low concentration when the two are in direct contact. And now when we mention about osmosis, osmosis is transport of water, that is through a semi-permeable membrane, from a solution of low concentration to a solution of high concentration. Then active transport is passage of salt or ions, that is mainly the minerals, from its lower to higher concentration, that is by using the energy, right? And here you can see everything is being diffused, so it can be with respect to solids, liquids, gases. So this is for water only, and this is for mineral transportation using the energy. Alright, so movement of molecules of solute or solvent. Here it is only for a solvent, that is water, and here it is for ions only. So that is the major difference that you can. So chapter 6 is which one, Krishna? Transpiration. So rapid in gases but slow in solutions, slow process. So first chapter, cell division. Okay, so there is cell division, genetics is there, absorption, transpiration, photosynthesis. Okay, so it is life processes. So chemical coordination you are talking about. So you are talking about the all right. So plant physiology, anyway I'm referring Selena textbook. Okay, so basic biology is there, anyway I have done a mind map on that. The plant physiology also I'll have to do on chemical coordination in plant. Then term 2 related I'll start in September. Okay, so September only we are allowed to start the term 2 related topics, so that I'll start in September. So that is with respect to circulatory and different systems that are there. All right, and transport from high or low concentration, so that is a longer gradient. Then you can see basically this is with respect to osmosis, where a semi-permeable membrane is required. Here it is a non-living permeable membrane, so that is a freely permeable membrane. Here it is a selective membrane, so that is a semi-permeable membrane itself, where the ATP is being used up, right? So these are the different differences which are mentioned even in your Selena textbook, so you can just concentrate on all of this. All right, any of you are having any doubts in here? I hope this is all clear. So this is the overall mind map which is mentioned here. So this is for absorption by root. So there are experiments that you need to concentrate on. In this, experiments are not given, but the experiments are equally important, where you will get a lot of different questions on this one. So you can just concentrate on those experiments as well. Okay. And other than that, the different terms. So here experiments, I'll just write what all is important in this chapter. So I'll just clear this up. So the important topics in this, all right, so these are with respect to important topics which are there in absorption by root. So you can just consider, so this is with respect to absorption by roots. All right, so you can consider for this one, there are experiments which I did not explain anyway here. Okay, so the experiments are gonna be important. All right, and other than that, the terms. Okay, so different terms, like there is isotonic solution, hypotonic solution, then there is hypertonic solution. So there is root pressure mentioned, then imbibition process, then diffusion process. All right, and other than that, active transport, passive transport. So it is not like not just active transport, the passive transport is also important. So the passive transport. Then other than that, the term turgidity, flaccidity, then the plasmolysis process, then what is deplasmolysis process. So all these terms are way too important. Okay, so deplasmolysis, then what exactly is replasmolysis, and other than that, so this is all plant water relation. Okay, so the one which I have written, so this is all plant water relation. Okay, and other than that, so experiments are there, this is there. What else is given in this chapter? So the terms like, so terms like guttation. Okay, I'll write it here itself. Better I'll write it here. So the terms like guttation. Okay, and other than that, bleeding. So what exactly is bleeding? So all those terms are important. Where to write? Here, no space, right? Okay, I'll anyway write this side. So terms like guttation is important, and what part in the guttation is basically what loss, whether it is a water vapor or water droplet. Then bleeding, so these terms are important. Then the forces contributing for ascent of sap. Okay, so that topics like what exactly is cohesion, what exactly is adhesion. Okay, then the characteristics of root is also important. Okay, so the characteristics of root has been asked as one of the long answer type question previously, so this is important. Okay, then other than that, there is nothing else. No, so this is need for water, so this you can generally read. So these are the terms that you need to know, so these terms and these particular characteristic that you need to know. And other than that, so what exactly is osmosis and active transport. So all these are basically the cohesion, capillarity, the adhesion terms. So there is one more term here, so this is a cohesion, so that also you need to include in this. All right, and all these terms are going to be important. So lot of definition based questions which are there, like definition, so they can ask you on this particular chapter. All right, and this one, just based on, like, some diagram based questions that they can give on this chapter. All right, so I hope this is clear for you guys. I'll just end this session, so since we are done with the timing. So any doubts that you guys have, you can ask. Hi Priyanshi, which one you want me to explain once more? You can anyway the recording. So anyway I have done on absorption by root. So you can watch the recording. Any doubt that you get, so you can just join my Telegram channel. So any doubts that you have, so you can clear your doubts there or on the community as well. Okay, so you can just go ahead with that. Alright, so before I end this session, so we have a batch, so that is gladiators batch. Okay, so here all subjects are covered, so that is for class 10 ICSE. If you are subscribing, so you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free, and here the mode of delivery is English. So if you are subscribing for class 10, so basically you will be getting class in 11 and 12. So this is in general applied for both the batches. So once you take the subscription, so you will have access to gladiators batch and also for titans batch. The only difference is that the mode of delivery is English here, and here the mode of delivery is English. And the start date of this one was July 6th. You can watch the recording, many more sessions which are yet to come live, so you can attend the live session there. Here also you can attend the recording, but yes, there are again many more sessions which are yet to come live, so you can take up the live sessions. So all the subjects like maths, physics, chemistry and bio will be covered in here. And we have right now, so that is at 7:45, so just within 15 minutes you have this session on the Unacademy platform. So all you have to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, where Manan sir will be interacting with Arpit Tiwari, who has scored 98.8% in ICSE board exam. All right, so you can know some, like, strategies to crack your finals by having a look at their session. So it is basically an interactive session where they'll be discussing about the strategies to come up with the different ideas. So you can just watch this session. All right, and introducing community, so never miss on any update from your favorite educator. So get session notes and practice material. You can also share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. So check out the link to the educator community below. So there is a Bucks Bounty. So this is opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. So be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description there. All right. Okay, then, so we are done with today's session. Any doubts you have, you can just join my Telegram channel. So that is Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. Okay, so this is Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. So any doubts that you have, you can clear your doubts on that channel as well. So subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ICSE both, and click on bell icon to get notified about the session. Like and share the video and download the Unacademy Learners app now. Alright, and if you need this PDF, so you can just join in my Telegram channel and do let me know if you need this PDF there. So I'll be sending this PDF on the Telegram, or I can send it even on the community as well. Alright, so see you all in the next session. Thank you all. Take care everyone. Bye.